What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. To live your best life, you must live label free. I've got a very super cool guest. She has over 380,000 total streams on Spotify, over 300,000 total streams on YouTube. She is a pop singer, songwriter. She's out of New York. Please welcome Teresa. Teresa, thank
Hey,
you for being
hey.
here.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I was looking forward to this. I couldn't wait to talk.
I know, like I had to create the build up with the introduction. So, can you introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit about
Yes,
your background?
I'm Teresa. I'm a pop singer and songwriter. Um, I'm proud to say that I am 41 years old, and I am
Woo!
a very, very proud also to say that I'm following my dreams at 41 years old.
Oh,
I am a very successful advertising music executive. I work in a crazy, crazy industry where I find music for commercials and
wow.
work with a lot of different brands. And I've been doing that for a very long time now. But my dream was always to be a singer and a songwriter since I was a little girl. And through the years, as a lot of us it happens in all of our lives. We go through a lot of stuff
Yeah.
as children, as teenagers. I had some setbacks. My father passed away. My best friend was diagnosed with cancer, and then she
Oh,
passed away 3 months after him. I went through a lot, and
yeah.
I didn't love myself.
Yeah.
And, through it all, I still had this vision, this music vision, and I landed in this amazing job. And even though things didn't work out for me with my music career as the artist, I've again found such great success in music and advertising, living a great life through the years. And then about 2.5 years ago, I recommitted to my music.
Yeah.
I literally was cleaning out closets and found some old songs, and the passion for my music was just reignited. And since I made a pact with myself that I was going to start little by little getting back into it. I had no idea where I was going to be going. I didn't know that I would be sitting here and speaking with you and have all those amazing streams and
Yeah.
getting a lot of awesome attention for it. But I just started writing and writing from the heart.
Yeah.
And I've been writing songs my whole life, and I took this like very, very long hiatus, and it was just like riding a bike. Like I just started writing, and it was so therapeutic too. I was going through so much, as we're aging and our experiences are evolving. It was just so crazy to see how my songwriting also was quickly evolving, and
Yeah.
how I was feeling so much better about myself, and my confidence was growing. So here I am into this releasing music, and really on top of wanting to share this music with the world, I want to share my story, and I want to inspire other people that don't give up. Don't do it. If you did give up, that's okay. Get back out there. Do something for you. Something every day, even this small, is going to amount to so much when you
Yeah.
look back.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Gonna give me chills, girl. I love it. Just so amazing. I'm all about that. Obviously, that's my kind of
Yeah.
message, label free, just to kind of
Yes.
break out of those like I think we're only limited by our beliefs, like by the limits that
Mm-hmm.
are in our head. And so
Yeah.
I'm 44, like we were talking before we started recording, and I have no problem telling people my age.
Yeah.
I did my husband passed away 5 years ago. And after he passed, it was like that was my time, like, okay, life is very short. You never know when your time's gonna come. And I decided like that's it. It was like balls to the wall.
Good.
I'm chasing my dreams. I had originally wanted to be a fashion designer, and that I created 3 beautiful collections, but that I just realized that fashion is an interesting industry and I really don't want to be in it. It's really tough. I actually was on the runway out in Rhode Island with Style Week. I'm not sure if you're
Oh,
familiar.
wow.
Yeah.
No, I'm not, but that's awesome.
Yeah, it
Oh
was
my
it was
God.
really cool. And then I was a finalist for the Cadillac Design Challenge here in Chicago. But
Oh,
I did 3 great collections. And then when that was done, I was like, what am I gonna do next? And then I got an article on to do a podcast. And so since that article, I started it, and now here we are today, and I'm all about chasing your dreams. I never
I
knew
love it.
that this would be a dream, but I realized what it was in my journey in the last 5 years. So,
Beautiful.
yeah. So, why can you talk about some of your setbacks and like what, because
Absolutely.
I feel like that creates like that builds you to work to where that what motivates you.
Absolutely. And it's really sometimes it's hard to talk about. So if I get a little like, I'm very energetic and I'm very like, so if you see me just kind of go a little inwards, it's because it's really hard to talk about, but I'm happy to speak about it.
Sure.
Because other people are going through similar things or
Yes.
have gone through similar things. Growing up was, I lived on Long Island, in a very, very upper middle class neighborhood. And my family was kind of the family on the street with the old cars in the driveway. The grass was never mowed. It was like there was a lot of love in my family, but there was also a lot of dysfunction in my family. And through that, my I came from an overweight family, and I would be eating to also
Okay.
basically comfort myself.
Yeah. Self.
And yeah, it was really, and because I was also trying to keep up with my dad eating, I ended up, being overweight, and that was not acceptable with young children at my age, and kids were very cruel. And although I wanted to be a pop star and a singer, I still had that dream. That was still
Yeah.
my dream. I
Yeah.
would be made fun of a lot, and that was really hard. And now I can look back and I can say to myself, that only made me stronger. But it took me until I was like 40 years old to realize that, because the things that the kids would say to me, that I was fat and that I was ugly, lived with me and lived with me through my teenage years, my 20s, my 30s, and up until even now. It's something that I have to work through. You could
Well, you're
come.
gorgeous, by the way.
Oh, thank you. No, and this is something that I think that we all, this is my experience,
Right.
right? My experience was this was a takeaway. And then through my teenage years, I suffered through a lot of self-doubt
Yeah.
and a lot of self-esteem issues, even though I had lost weight, even though I was pretty. I look back and I'm like, wow, you were one hot 15-year-old.
You go, girl.
Yeah, like, you can look back and you can see this stuff and you could be like, okay, well, there was some damage that was done. And then what happens, and I think you know this, is that here's that hurt, and that
Yeah.
hurt doesn't get fixed. We don't tend to the hurt,
Nope.
and it just keeps piling up. And then all those great experiences, okay, those are fantastic. We forget about the great experiences and the people who sometimes make us feel good. And we're like, oh, well, that one person told me this, and
Yeah.
that made me feel like poop. And that just kept on growing and growing. And it took me a long time to realize that that wasn't the truth. That
Yeah.
those are false. And I was paying attention to the negative rather than focusing on the positive. So through that, and then, unfortunately, on top of a lot of that negativity and
Yeah.
that low self-esteem, my father became ill. And my mother actually suffers from a short-term memory loss disorder. She was in a car accident when she
Oh,
was in her 20s. And it's a hard thing. Like my mom couldn't really hold a full-time job to support the family while my father was sick, so I would have to work 40 hours a
yeah.
week and help my family out, and then trying to go to school and trying to have friends and trying to have this some sort of like normalcy was
Yeah.
kind of difficult. And I always had something inside of me that said keep going, even though I didn't realize it at the time. And even though my father was sick, my best friend was also sick, I got up and I figured out a way to get out of Long Island and to go to school, because I wanted to follow in Madonna's footsteps and go to New York City and become a big star and never look back.
I,
So I figured out a way to do it, and that was going to school. And
yeah.
I worked with my guidance counselors in high school. I was very, very fortunate to have somebody who helped me figure out how to pay for that and
Yeah.
helped me figure out how I could do that. And then I got to college and everything was woo, I'm here. 3 weeks later, I got the call that my dad passed away.
Oh,
And you're like, oh,
oh,
I was just starting that new life. And, it, it sucked. And three
yeah.
months later, my best friend passed away. And that sucked too.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So, like, you have all of that. And again, on top of this hurt, and there's all this other hurt, but there
Yeah,
was still a drive. There was
yeah,
still something telling me that I could do this. And throughout my 20s, again, like self-esteem and self-doubt crowded a lot of my headspace. And I would try, and I see it now again. You can see it in hindsight, is that I did try to focus on what was working well for me. And that was this advertising music career that
yeah,
I had. And even though like I was still trying to write music, and I was in a few bands and I was working on some solo demos, and that was really great. But when you have something that's feeling so good and makes you feel so good and people who make you feel so good, you're like, okay, well, I don't have time for that
yeah,
dream anymore.
yep,
And even though again, everything happens for a reason, and our time is our time.
yes,
I'm sad that I didn't believe in myself enough to keep that going. But again, here I am to tell the story. That wouldn't have been the story I would be telling right now. I might not
right,
even be sitting here with you. I could be doing something else.
yeah,
So just saying that, like, we always get knocked down. We
yes,
get knocked down in many
God,
ways, and sometimes it really, really hurts.
oh yeah,
We have scars to show, but if we can try to like dust ourselves up and pick ourselves up and start all over again, and it might be again and again and again and again, it's going to be amazing.
yeah, totally agree. With that being said, I got to take a quick commercial break. Support for Label Free Podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below the waist grooming. Ladies, you can also use it. It's very sleek, very cool. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. That's a big number. Thank you, gentlemen. Us ladies like that. Keep it up. Keep it up, please. We have an exclusive offer for my listeners, 20% off plus free shipping with the code labelfree20 at manscaped.com.
Yeah.
So we have got to take my commercial break, girl.
I love it. I love it.
So we have a lot of synergies with some of our stories. I mean, luckily I haven't lost too many people in my life. You know, my husband, he passed away. That's probably the biggest loss that I've sustained. But my father was very abusive, and he was a deadbeat. He ended up leaving. I'm the oldest of five. So like you having to support your family, like I started working several jobs when I was in high school, like 15.
Yeah.
I'm walking through like almost like waist high snow, going from one job to the next so that I could help my mom put food on the table. We had to go to the food pantry, and it was those, like you said, those experiences I feel like has created a lot of wisdom, a lot of strength,
Mhm.
and it sets us up for what's to come. And
Yes.
there has been a series of, I've had abusive boyfriends. I'm a human trafficking survivor. I had a boyfriend that got me into that, and I've overcome all of it. And I actually just started talking about that recently, and people are like, whoa, I didn't know that about you. And I'm like, yeah, that's something that is part of my past. And but it has created this person that I am today. That is, and I'm proud of who I am today and all the things I've overcome, because a lot of people like yourself that has gone through like terrible things, some of them aren't as strong. Some of them aren't as
No.
strong. They get stuck in a bad relationship. They get into drugs, and just they could be stuck their whole life and not even allowing themselves to think about any dreams that they may have to go after. So,
No. Uh, and sometimes people don't even know that's an answer. So
yeah,
sometimes, it's so unfortunate with certain situations and circumstances. And I know people, and I've seen people close to me who just can't see that there is a brighter day tomorrow,
yeah,
or that, hey, I need help. To say that you need help, or to seek out supportive friends or family, and sometimes you don't even have that
yeah,
you don't have that system. It really, it's things that I think that we should be learning in school in our formative years have a lot to do with psychology
yeah,
and with how taking care of ourselves.
yeah,
Because not only our bodies and our, obviously that's very important as well, is to be healthy.
Yes.
We also have to be healthy.
Yeah.
And we're not taught that. And if we had some tools at young ages to understand positive and negative thoughts, and I know that I'm getting a little heady here, but I
No.
really do think that that could help us as we're growing and we're starting to have these experiences. And that's why I feel, and I think you are the same exact way, is to share our stories with people and to show people that anything is possible.
Yes.
I didn't come from much, and I really built something that is really successful in my eyes.
Yeah.
And it's all
Absolutely.
about our perceptions too, and not what the world is thinking about us. Living label free? Absolutely. Absolutely. It's so important for us to be our own best friends first
Yeah.
before we can make friends with anybody else. And if we don't love ourselves, we're not going to be able to love anyone.
This is so true. And it's interesting you say that about learning at a young age. I had this conversation, something similar to, with a coach that I had on, I think like somewhere in the world. And it was about how if we were taught at a younger age, how, just our mindset and how that affects our lives and how it can have such an impact at a younger
Yes.
age, like that is something that they really need to implement, it's
Yes.
helping us to deal with some of those thoughts and deal with how we are going to approach life. And yeah, totally agree with you. I think that that would be huge for our future generations, but this world is kind of messed up right now. So I don't know.
Indeed.
Um,
Indeed. But if
so I want to hear about, about how long ago did you start like really pursuing the music?
oh, well,
Well, you like this, yes, like all your
this
six,
latest incarnation of Teresa,
yeah.
it was December 2018 is when it was the holiday break. It was right after Christmas, and I was
Okay.
doing that holiday cleaning that I'm off between Christmas and New Year's. So I always try to do something productive around the house rather than just eat and drink, because that's what you can usually find me doing during that time. But I was cleaning out closets, and I came across an old notebook of songs, and then again, I just from there, I didn't want to put pressure on myself, especially then. I didn't know where it was going to lead to, but I just started writing.
Yeah.
And from the writing, I started putting it out into the universe. Like I was starting to get into meditation
Okay.
during that time. I was also starting to see a therapist at that time. Again, very open about the effects that therapy has had on me. So I think that as my mind was starting to open up a little bit to other possibilities while I was working on my music, it all kind of was coming together, and I wanted to put it out into the universe and just like, let me share what I'm doing with some friends. And not gonna lie to you, I was like recording music, just me singing on my bathroom in my shower floor in my bathroom
I love it.
with my laptop, a cup of tea, and I would just sing stuff a cappella because I just wanted to start doing that process. I don't really play any instruments. I can play a couple of chords on the piano. That's about it. So
Yeah.
like I'm a lyric and melody girl,
Okay.
and I just come up with stuff in my head. And I wasn't holding myself back of what I couldn't do. I was embracing what I could do. So I had a major, major create. I was just throwing up songs left and right. I was super inspired by just life and the people around me. And I would, song after song would just come out. And I started to befriend, when you start putting stuff out into the universe delivers. And I was starting to meet people. I met a really wonderful friend named Marav, who was very instrumental in me meeting some of my collaborators. And from those collaborators, I met other friends, and then other opportunities came up. And just a few months after I started writing, I started working with some producers and bringing some of my songs to life. And it was an incredible feeling to know that, okay, from this one dream, this one thing, I want to work on this again. I was starting to write, work on the music with
Yeah.
actual artists. And I then I then kept going. I kept going. I'm like, I'm going to start releasing music. Why not? These tracks are pretty good. I'm going to start releasing some of them. And my writing was also I wouldn't say improving, but I was evolving.
Evolving, right?
Yes. So, and then I would meet more people, and it would just kind of like I was just continuing to grow and releasing. And then I got my first PR rep, and she was fantastic and helped me get myself out there. And then, it just, then there would be this and this. And then I would hit here. I would hit like the ceiling. I'm like, okay, got to break through this
Yeah,
one, got to do this. I
yeah,
got to keep going. And I just kept doing it. And it's been, again, like almost 2.5 years, and I'm going to be releasing a new single soon, and starting to think about even more releases and really how I can elevate this to the next, and find time to do everything that I want to do in my life. I still have my job. I'm still working in advertising full time, very demanding, but I love it.
yeah.
Then over here, I'm writing. I'm an artist. Another word that's hard to swallow and admit that I'm an artist,
Yes,
and
same.
as
Yeah,
and also manage all of that
yeah,
and manage the growth of that. So you, again, putting it all out there, that it's really hard. And some days you're like, okay, I really don't want to work out this morning, but it really makes me feel good. And then I'm going to be on with a very busy day. I got to keep going.
yeah.
You just got to keep going, because there is something inside of me that says, Teresa, keep doing this. It's all going to pay off. And if I again, look and see where I was 3 months ago, where I was 6 months ago, where I was 5 years ago, I see my trajectory just keeps
Yes,
building and building and getting higher.
yes.
So
I love the passion and how like happy you are when you talk about it. It's just
thank you.
amazing.
Thank you.
So where can everybody, so I actually really quick, I did pull up when your current single By Your Side. So you guys,
Yes.
you can go to Spotify, you can go to YouTube. I'm sure you're, where else are you streaming? Are you streaming on everything
Apple,
else?
on any digital streaming platform that you're using, I am there. It's
Okay.
Teresa with an H.
Yes. I love it though. Your passion, your drive, very type A, obviously. Even though you're an artist, you're type A. So which is totally cool. I love type A women because we get along.
Yes.
Because I'm the same. Where else can people find you while oh wait, I think here we
Oh,
go.
oh, this is Merry Christmas, I Love You. But it is a really amazing Christmas song.
Oh, this is you too.
Yeah, that's Merry Christmas, I Love You.
Oh my goodness. Where's okay. Oh I
Gonna find a way to get this holiday another Christmas.
I like it. Oh
Bopping
my
around the
gosh, I love
Christmas
it.
tree.
Okay.
Another Christmas.
All right. So
Yes.
we'll have to. Why is that not coming up? Okay. Well, By Your Side is her current single, and she's getting
Yes.
ready to. And your last one, oh, your upcoming. Oh, never mind. Can't share it. I just saw that. I can't share it. Do you? She has an upcoming one that is coming out. An upcoming single,
Yes.
in a couple weeks, actually. I see.
Yeah, and 2 weeks from today, I'm actually announcing it to everyone that I'm releasing a new song called Level Up on May 7th.
Okay.
And I think actually you would love this. This is going to be one of your anthems too. It's all about when we are in the midst of it and we just keep having to build on our momentum. And
Yes.
sometimes it's easier just to be like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to sit this one out, or I done it. I'm done.
Yeah.
No, it's time for you to level up and keep going, because you don't know what is on the other side of that mountain that you're almost on top of.
Yeah.
So just keep going. We all could be leveling up
Yeah.
in
Oh my
everything we
gosh.
do.
Yeah, you just gave me chills again. I'm like got goosebumps on my arms. I'm like, and I just got waxed by my girlfriends. Stop giving me goosebumps. You know?
Oh my God.
No. So like my girl, she's going to school to become an esthetician. So I go there to get like
Ooh,
facials and all kinds of stuff, for like a fraction, like for
lucky.
20, yeah, for like $20. So like now
Jealous.
I just had that done. So no more goosebumps. Oh my
Okay.
gosh. I just love your energy. I love what you're doing. I can't wait to
Thank
just
you.
continue to watch your trajectory, because
Appreciate
it
it.
is very exciting when we've reached a certain point in our life and we're just like, fuck it. I'm gonna keep
Fuck
going.
it.
That's it. And that drive, like if you're out there in the audience and you're listening to this and you have that drive, you have that little thing that's inside of you, that seed that you just wants to sprout and grow, what we're trying to tell you is water that plant, water that seed, let it grow, because you never know where it's going to take you. And sometimes taking the risk is definitely worth it. It's definitely
Yes.
I'm assuming you on all the social media platforms that people want to follow.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Teresa Music Official
Okay.
on Instagram and Facebook. My website is teresamusicofficial.com. Again, you can find me, my music, on any digital streaming platform there is. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Deezer, you name it, I'm there.
And YouTube.
And
I will
YouTube, of
put all the
course.
links. I'll put all the links in the description of the
Love
episode.
it.
Before we say goodbye and wrap things up, Teresa, are there any last words of wisdom or advice you'd like to leave with the audience?
No, I just want to say thank you so much for having me, Deanna. Like, I was really looking forward to our conversation because I really believe in what you're doing.
Oh,
And I just want to say thank you for giving me the space to share my story, but also thank you for sharing yours. It's very courageous and you are an inspiration. And it was
oh
just such an honor to be speaking with you today.
my God. Stop it, girl. Come on.
Aw.
Like, oh, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, Teresa. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Kuempel with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Please don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, comment, share, and I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.